Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing with you some tips that I have for color correcting. I know color correcting has become a huge thing, and I really just wanted to come in and share with you some tips that I have come across myself. If you'd like to see how I color correct my face and how you're able to get a flawless finish, go ahead and stay tuned. Now, if you're not aware of what color correcting is, it's basically a technique that you can use to cancel out or neutralize different colors within your skin. So I'm going to cover and speak about 3 different concealers that people tend to use. So the first concealer is the color that I use. So I use the orange concealer, and orange concealer tends to cancel out darker marks that you have within your skin. So I do get acne here and there, but I'm often troubled and plagued with that dark mark that's always left behind. So to cancel out those dark marks, I often go in with a orange concealer. Now, the one that I prefer to use is the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is the high definition concealer, and you can get these all over the internet. I personally bought this one off of iKate House, which is an online website. They also carry them on other sites. I will list a few different places where you can pick these up down below. The great thing about these ones is they only sell for between $2 to $5.99 depending on the site, so I would definitely try this out if you are suffering from darker marks. The second colored concealer that I actually want to address is the green concealer. Now, I don't actually have any green concealers to show you, but I can certainly give you guys some examples. Now, green concealer is typically used to cancel out redness. So a lot of fair-skinned people tend to suffer from what they call rosacea, whether it be on the cheeks or on the forehead, but mostly on the cheek area. So you can use a green concealer to cancel out those red marks. So the last concealer that I want to talk about before I give you my tips is the purple concealer. Now, purple or lavender concealer is really good as well. It's used a lot of the time to cancel out yellow or dull tones. So if you have a fair skin complexion and your skin is just looking very dull and you want to brighten it up a little bit, you can use a purple concealer. So now for the tips that I wanted to share with you guys. The first tip is you really want to use something that's going to be appropriate for your skin tone. So I'm going to use my orange concealer as an example. This concealer tends to be very rich, and when I say rich, it's very darkly pigmented orange. So for me, with this concealer, it can come off a little bit too dark and can overtake my foundation if I overdo it. So what you want to do is find a concealer that's going to work very nicely with your skin tone and not be too dark and not too light. So even if you're going to use something that you know that's a little bit too rich for your skin tone, what you want to do is make sure that you only apply the amount that you're going to need to cancel out whatever you're trying to neutralize, and also make sure that you blend out the concealer really well before you move on to your next step. So my second tip that I wanted to share with you guys is to make sure that you use a color that is appropriate for the results that you're looking for. So again, for example, I explained at the beginning of the video that we use orange to cancel darkness, purple to cancel dullness, and we also use green to cancel red. So for my skin complexion, I don't really suffer from redness, so I wouldn't want to be applying a green concealer on my face, because chances are all it's going to do is alter my foundation and it's really not going to do anything for me. So for me, the best concealer that I can go with is this orange concealer, because it does kind of go with the golden tones that I already have in my skin, and it's going to cancel out the darkness that I have on my skin, and I can then seamlessly put my foundation over it without having to cake up too much concealer or cake up too much foundation. You really only need to correct the areas that you need to correct. So for example, if I just have a dark spot right here or just on this side of my face, I'm not going to be taking the concealer and applying it all over my face. To be honest, caking up your concealer all around your face is going to make your foundation look very cakey, and a lot of the times, depending on the tone of the concealer that you're using, it can actually end up just altering the color of your foundation. So this can result in having a different overall color on your face relative to your neck and chest, which we don't want, because we want a seamless transition when we're applying our makeup, and we want to really make it look believable. So my fourth tip for color correcting is we really only need to use the amount of product that is needed to cover the area. So even with myself, I know when I first started to color correct, I found myself building up too much concealer, and in the end, all it did was alter the color of my foundation, and I ended up looking like a big Oompa Loompa. So to avoid over concealing and over applying product, all you want to do is go ahead and find the area that you need to conceal or neutralize, apply just a small amount of product, and then if you need more, definitely go ahead and add some more, and you can blend it out as needed. My next tip for color concealing is you want to apply your concealer before your foundation. Now for me personally, I find this works the best because I can go in and find the areas that I need to conceal, and I just apply the product, blend it out, and once I apply my foundation over top of the concealer, I can then see if I need any more coverage, and then I can add a little bit more foundation if needed. So I also wanted to show you some of the tools that I use to color correct. Now this right here is a Morphe M173 brush, and you can see this is a super dense brush and it's very small. I typically like to apply my concealer and I just buff it out like this, and when I'm buffing out my concealer, I don't swirl or swipe the product along my face. I really find that with patting it in, you get the most coverage and it's not wiping away the product. Another tool that's really good for blending in your concealer is a beauty blender, and I know a lot of people love these, and for good reason. Once you go ahead and dampen the sponge, I find that it just gives you the most airbrushed looking finish. It's not going to cake it up, and once you just pounce it on your skin, it's going to blend it out and not leave any streaks along your face. So those are all my tips that I wanted to share with you guys for color correcting. I have come across a few things and I thought it would be helpful to some of you. So of course, go ahead and thumbs up the video. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, we'll see you again. Bye.